Our mission is to help you learn the English language. We have created easy-to-follow, free educational materials for those seeking knowledge of English.
What do you think is harder, reading or writing?
Well, they're completely different. Reading is passive, and writing is active.
I don't think I understand what you mean. Could you explain a little more?
In reading, you need to recognize language by seeing the words on the page and knowing what they are. In writing, you have to produce language. You have to create your own words on a blank page.
Oh, now I see what you mean. When you're reading, you are just looking, but when you are writing, you are actually doing something.
A reading knowledge of a language is larger and different from a writing knowledge. Don't you think so?
I think I see what you mean. I can read Shakespeare, but I definitely can't write it.
Exactly.
So I have another question for you. What do you think is harder, speaking or understanding?
They're both harder than reading or writing.
In what way?
Because they are direct communication with another person, and there's a time limit. This time limit is the most serious problem for foreigners, even for those who know lots of English.
You are making me feel really discouraged.
I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm trying to help you. You have to live with these difficulties. Isn't it better to know about them? The more you know about what you have to face, the better you'll do. I promise.
Are you okay, Chuck? You look pale.
I'm fine, Catherine. I just stayed up late last night working on my Chinese.
Oh, poor you. You know what? I found a new way to learn Chinese and it works very well.
You did? Do tell me. I've spent all these months trying to learn something new about it, but I've made little progress.
Sure. I'm learning Chinese through songs.
So you're learning Chinese songs?
You can say that. I can actually sing some of them now.
That's a real achievement. How did you do that?
I start by listening to the song a few times, and after several times I am able to follow the singer.
It makes sense.
It does. I've learned some Chinese folk songs this way. They are clearly presented and easy to follow.
Can join you, Catherine? I do want to have a try.
Why not? I downloaded a beautiful song the other day. We can learn it together now.
Great. Do you think we need a Chinese dictionary?
Yes, just in case we run into new characters.
Okay, I will bring it with me. You're ready, right?
Ready for what?
Are you ready to transfer tomorrow?
Yes, I am ready.
You're not nervous?
Of course I'm nervous.
What are you most nervous about?
I won't know anybody at that school.
You shouldn't be nervous about that.
Why not?
Meeting new people is a good thing.
That's a good way to think about it.
I've always wondered, what's the difference between English for Chinese students and English for native students?
I don't know. What do you think?
I think a Chinese student concentrates on written English, and uses it as a basis for communicating. From start to finish he's learning vocabulary and fundamentals of grammar. This is a very difficult way to learn.
What do natives get?
They get higher-level English, which is more formal than everyday spoken English. They also deal with matters of style and creativity.
Do you mean that a native doesn't make any mistakes in grammar?
Absolutely not. Native speakers make a lot of grammar mistakes, especially if they come from a home where non-standard English is spoken.
I suppose that only a small percentage of college students don't know standard English in American universities.
Actually, there are more non-native speakers than you think. That's why it's so important to quit worrying about making mistakes. Just talk to everyone every chance you get. How often do you have English lessons?
I have a lesson once a week, but I try to practice every day.
How do you practice?
I usually look at English language websites every day and go to my local English corner twice a week.
Do you ever speak to native speakers of English?
Sadly, I hardly ever speak to English people. I usually practice with my Chinese friends.
Eric, how long will you be in China?
I don't know. Well, my contract here is for 1 year, and I don't know what I should do after that. Maybe going around for a while.
Well, have you ever thought about learning some Chinese?
Actually, I am learning that now. But it's too hard for me. You know, the 4 tones and the stuff. It really freaks me out.
Don't worry. All things are difficult before they are easy.
You hit the nail right on the head.
Well, are you invested in some language exchange program?
What is it?
It's where I teach you Chinese, and in exchange you teach me English.
Awesome. I've been giving this a lot of thought. When can we do this?
How about this Sunday?
Okay, cool.
Good. I'll give you a call tonight.
No problem.
Bye.
What were you and Richard talking about earlier? It looked intense.
Yeah, Richard said something to me that I didn't appreciate.
Oh, no, I know how insensitive he can be. What has he done now?
He asked me how long it took me to learn English.
But, you were born and raised in California.
Yeah, but I get that sometimes. It doesn't matter how many generations my family has lived in the U.S., we'll always be foreigners in their eyes.
What a racist. How can you stand working with the guy?
You know, Richard isn't such a bad guy. He made the comment out of ignorance, not malice.
So, what did you say when he asked you how long it took you to learn English?
I told him 28 years. And, he knows I'm 28 years old since I just celebrated my birthday last week. He was puzzled for a minute, and then he got it.
Are you sure he really got the message?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, since I then asked him how long it took him to learn English.
That's hilarious. What did he say?
He said, 36 years, and we both laughed about it. He apologized and now, it's all good.
I'm glad. I bet he won't make that mistake again. Pardon me. Could you please pass me the tissue?
Sure, here you are.
Thanks. I didn't expect the dish to be so spicy. Are you okay?
Yeah, I think the food is all right. It's not too spicy, though it's a little salty for me. But you are Chinese, you should have known better.
Well, not every Chinese can handle spicy food in the way people from Sichuan and Guizhou provinces can. Back where I come from, people don't eat a lot of peppers and chilies.
Oh, I see how this food can be really hard for you. I can sympathize with that. I stayed in Sichuan for a year. The food was difficult at the beginning. Every dish was so spicy. After a while though, I got used to the taste, and now I won't consider anything a real dish if it isn't spicy.
Yeah, you can increase your tolerance for spicy food, but so far, I haven't had the need or the opportunity. Every time I try spicy food, it is a total disaster for my nose and eyes.
I completely understand. I didn't intend on liking spicy food at first either, but when you have no other choices, you've got to adapt.
Yeah, I guess that's a typical example of, when in Rome, do as the Romans do.
Exactly.
You received a letter in the mail.
Give it here.
Who's the letter from?
I think it's my acceptance letter from NYU.
I want to know what it says.
They didn't accept me.
Are you serious?
It's the truth.
Are you okay?
I really wanted to get into NYU.
I am really sorry to hear that.
It's okay. I'm still waiting to hear from UCLA anyway.
There's a letter here for you.
Let me see it.
What's the letter about?
It's a letter from NYU.
Tell me what it says.
I didn't get in.
You're lying.
I'm not lying.
Are you upset?
I had high hopes for NYU.
I'm sorry you didn't get accepted.
Hopefully, I'll get accepted to UCLA.
Okay class, so today we are going to continue with our anatomy class. Today we will review everything we have learned. Can anyone tell me what the first major organ is?
The brain.
That's right, the brain. It serves as a control center for the body, handling the processes of the central nervous system as well as cognition. Then what major organ is in our chest?
The heart.
Very good. It pumps blood throughout the body, using the circulatory system such as blood vessels and veins. Now let's not forget that our lungs provide oxygen to our heart and body to keep us alive. Now what about the organs that help us digest food?
The stomach and intestines.
Very good. Let's not forget that the stomach is the one that breaks down our food and our intestines process that food and then expel the waste. Are we forgetting anything?
Yeah, our kidneys, liver and bladder.
Oh yes, you are right. Very important organs indeed.
So what do these organs do, teacher?
Well, Mum, they time for a break. We can talk about it when you get back. I have a real problem when I meet people.
What is it? Maybe I can help.
I never know when to shake hands and when not to. Can you tell me something about it?
Do you come from a country where they shake hands?
Oh yes. Men, women, and children shake hands all the time.
It's very simple. Men shake hands, women and children don't.
But some women do shake hands. And now a lot of children have such good manners, they shake hands too.
Well, a good rule to follow is, for men you hold out your hand, for women and children, you wait and see what they do.
That sounds easy enough.
Sure, once you get the hang of it, it's a piece of cake. It's nothing to worry about.
Have you figured out where you want to transfer to?
I can't think of where to go.
Where would you like to go to school?
I really don't know.
You can't think of anything?
I really like where I'm at now.
So, why don't you just stay here?
That may be what I'm going to do.
It's a perfectly good school.
You're absolutely right.
Do you know what you're going to do now?
I'm just going to stay at PCC.
How are your Chinese lessons going?
Oh, I'm learning very slowly. I think Chinese is more difficult than English.
Well, I guess you have fewer characters, but I think Chinese grammar is easier.
Maybe, but I think people usually learn English more quickly than Chinese.
Yes, I guess basic speaking in the English is easier.
Maybe that's why your English is much better than my Chinese.
Following our free educational materials, you learn English in a great way with ease and efficiency.